David, what happens here with Shohei Ohtani? The fact that he is not going to pitch and just be a hitter next year, how does that impact his free agency?
What a brilliant job. And I'm nothing personal. I like criticizing PR because people are just bad at it. It is funny. If you read the reports yesterday, the agents who came out to talk about Shohei's surgery, the Angels who talked about Shohei's surgery, they called it a procedure. I had such fun with nothing personal with this. It was Tommy John. But they don't want to say it because when you have two Tommy Johns, you may not be able to ever come back and pitch. But no, he had a procedure, much like the Aaron Rodgers Achilles, never been done. He's going to come back in 12 weeks. It's brilliant, Stu. No worries. He'll be there for week 15 or 16. It's total horse hockey. His Achilles ripped off and rolled up like a carpet. Shohei Ohtani's ligament was torn. When you fix that, it's called Tommy John. You don't miss a year with a procedure. You miss a year with Tommy John.
You are indignant. You are furious. You have caught these people in a lie.
Who are they fooling? Are they fooling teams who are in the market to sign Ohtani? Do you think that there's a GM of the Dodgers, Andrew Friedman? Do you think he reads that report and says, oh, it wasn't Tommy John, no problem. Now we'll sign him to $60 million a year.
Samson, listen to me when I tell you I've not seen Billy Gill more passionate about anything than a couple of weeks ago when he thundered in here screaming about how stupid the Angels are. Billy, for the 8th consecutive season, the Angels will finish with Trout and Ohtani, but not some of them with Trout and Ohtani, some of them without. But 8 consecutive seasons under 500 for the Angels, longest streak in baseball. Nobody's worse than that with the two best players in the sport.
It's unreal.
That's almost mathematically impossible to do.
And it hasn't been the same group of people running it. Like, it's been the same owner, but it hasn't been the same GM. So it's been multiple people that just can't figure it out, which is the strangest part.
But to me, it's fascinating, David. You must marvel at this part, right? When Moneyball came to the sport and the Dodgers had also Moneyball inefficiencies, the idea that in the AL East, the Orioles and Rays have figured out a way to do business so smartly, Stugotz, and you'd love this, so smartly that they lost long enough to get all the young players cheap, and so they could beat those teams in that division and take their revenue-sharing money. They are being paid to kick Yankee and Red Sox ass because they've gotten so much better at the efficiencies of how to manage a team, and in that, the Angels have the two best players and can't win for 8 years. It's nuts how the sport is turned upside down that way, David, that money matters less than it ever has.
My favorite stat there would be at the owners' meeting after the season, once you give the perfunctory applause to the owner who won the World Series and everybody's really flipping him the bird because you're so pissed off. There's a stat that they give about dollars per win. And that's the one I always like to win. Because what it shows is that you are spending the least amount of money to get every win, and that is the game that everybody's playing, is how much money do we actually have to spend? And there's rumors it's $8 million per win, and it's all about wins above replacement and all of these stats. But at the end of the day, how do you win the most games and pay the players the least amount of money? What the Angels have done is they have led the league in number of dollars per loss, which is the worst way to do it when you've got the highest payroll. This year, the San Diego Padres are up there along with the Mets, who are going to absolutely win the award for the most dollars paid per loss. And so the difference is when you have a low payroll, you can't make mistakes. So Billy, the Angels, when they signed Rendon or Pujols or C.J. Wilson, people were excited at these signings. Or Upton, remember that huge Upton signing? When they gave him all that money, none of it has worked. Trout, they gave all the money to, but it's not like they don't spend money. When you run a small market team, a small payroll team, Tampa, Baltimore, you don't have the chance to make a mistake, so you make fewer of them.